Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about the new Mortal Kombat movie that just came out on HBO Max on Friday. Let me just go ahead and put this out there. This isn't going to be a positive review, okay? It's not going to be roses and smell the flowers, or whatever the fucking phrase is. This isn't going to be it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get right on into it. So, I have a very short list of what I actually liked. So, let's start with that first. So, one thing I did like about the film was the fatality, the Toasty fatality with Scorpion at the end of the movie. So, I guess I'm going to kind of work backwards here or whatever. But anyway, I did appreciate that, where he took the mask off and blew the fire and the skeleton face. I appreciated that, and I liked that about the film. I also liked Kung Lao's fatality as well, with the hat, and then he threw the girl in the middle, and it's like down. She went right down the middle and split her right in half. I believe that's a fatality that's in the game too. I'm not sure which game, because they're all starting to run together now, but I liked that. I appreciated the gore and the blood, and how Kung Lao just put the hat right back on. Side note, Kung Lao with the hat, I was feeling everything about Kung Lao. Let me just say he was one of the things I liked about the film. I liked him. I feel like he was a good addition to the cast. I feel like he was obviously the most skilled fighter, and then they killed him off. And I'm like, okay, well, we all know in the story he comes back like as a zombie or something like that. I can't quite remember how it goes, but he comes back in the source material. I wasn't feeling the film up until then. I was confused. I couldn't follow the storyline, and y'all killed the one good thing that I was liking at that point. I liked how assertive he was, and he wasn't putting up with nobody's bullshit. So I really appreciated that, and then they killed him off. The other thing I did like about the film was the fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. So I kind of touched on that earlier about the fatality. I really like the effects. You can tell they put a lot of their money into that fight scene. I like the effects, the CGI. I like the man-to-man combat, like the hand. I appreciated that it wasn't just chopped all the hell up. You know what I mean? Like, it was a full-on fight scene. You get to feel how severe the rivalry is between those two guys. And I just thought that was a good scene. Now, overall, the action sequences weren't awful. The fight scenes, let's just start from what I don't like. Let me just start with the storyline. The storyline was trash. The whole plot from front to end was trash. There were so many plot holes. There were so many things that wasn't making any sense. From the beginning, off with the new character and the whole branded tattoo or birthmark or whatever the hell they were trying to make it seem like that wasn't original to the original Mortal Kombat. Huge Mortal Kombat fan, so I know a lot of the background with this film or with the storyline. My page is even like a homage to Cassie Cage because the name, because I love Mortal Kombat so much. I was just like, this is kind of silly. So now you have to be branded to enter Mortal Kombat. I didn't really understand that. I mean, I understood it, but I was just like, this is kind of stupid, but whatever. The guy Cole, who the actor, I wasn't really feeling his acting. I mean, he kind of was struggling a little bit to me. I thought he was too young to have a daughter that old, number one. He just did some stupid shit throughout the whole film. Like, when he went back after Raiden was like, oh, you know, you can't, you're not ready for this Mortal Kombat shit, and he sent him back home. I don't understand why he went back home. Like, you know that everybody from Outworld is looking for you, so why would you go? All you did was put a target on your family's back, because they didn't know where your family was at that point. They were just looking for you. This whole thing with Asaki or whatever the hell, I say Unagi, and if you're a fan of Friends, you know, you get the reference. I was calling it Unagi. That's what I've been calling it. Like, the little thing that they find within themselves to make their power come out. I thought that was weak. it was so many things I did not like about this film. I know everybody's saying Kano is a highlight for them. For me, he wasn't. He was okay. Let me back up. He was okay. He started to get annoying after a while for me. So by the time they made it to the dinner table and they were having that banter with Liu Kang and Kung Lao, I was annoyed with him, and I'm like, he's getting on my fucking nerves. Is there anybody else in this film that's gonna have a personality, that's gonna stand out, that's gonna have a standout performance other than Kano cursing and with his little one-liners? Like, after a while, that stuff falls flat for me. So initially it was fine, but after a while, like, it's just like, okay, is there anything else other than this to this character? And just because you curse doesn't make the lines better. So, like, there was a lot of cursing between Kano and Cabal's scenes and stuff, and I mean, I just was like, it wasn't doing it for me. I'm sorry, like, it just wasn't. Yeah, and then Sonya Blade, I didn't really have any real issues with her. I thought she was a little boring. Her character was a little boring. She did have a similar personality than what she has in the games and the story. She didn't really do anything significant, and they kept bringing up the fact that she didn't have the marking, so she wasn't a chosen one. And I was just like, we all know Sonya Blade is one of the original Mortal Kombat participants. Like, I get what y'all are trying to do here, but I wasn't really feeling it. I liked Jack's character. I liked the actor that played him. He's the only character only actor I recognize. My husband recognized some of the other individuals in the film, but I didn't. So it's the only one I recognized. I didn't really understand why they gave him those bony fingers and bony arms originally. Why? And then after he channeled his Unagi, then he gets, full on Terminator arms. Like, so it helps you create hardware now? Like, I don't get it. Like, this is not making any sense. I didn't like how they had, I think her name was Katara, with one of the characters with the wings. She was on Outworld side, and Reiku, I think it was his name, Reiko. I don't have an issue with those characters per se, but they're one of the lesser known characters of Mortal Kombat, and I feel like they should have replaced those with people who at least had somewhat of a backstory, somewhat interesting, because I did not find them interesting, familiar with with a lot of the characters. And for me, those aren't interesting characters. Like, and I guess maybe that was the reason why they put them in there, because they knew they were going to kill them off. Maybe they were kind of throwaway characters, but it's just like, we shouldn't have throwaway characters for a movie that we waited 30 years for. So, 30 years is an exaggeration, but next thing, Molina. So, first off, she really didn't have a significant role. If you're familiar with the backstory, Molina is Katana's cloned sister that Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn cooked up in a lab or whatever. Baraka blood. I can never say Tarkanian. I don't know. I can't fucking say it. I know y'all know what I'm trying to say. But she's pretty much half Baraka, half Katana, and she has these really messed up scars and teeth in her mouth. And so that was covered. That's covered in most of the games. Most of the time it's covered. But in this one, you can just see, like, she almost had like that Heath Ledger, like, sewed up look on the side of her cheeks, and so that really wasn't doing it for me. I've seen some people talk about her, everything else about her really didn't bother me. It was the mouth. Like, I need her mouth to be jacked up. There was one scene where she opened her mouth before, like, she kills somebody, and you can see how her mouth is supposed to be. And I just wish it was like that the whole film. Now, maybe it wasn't because of CGI and budget restraints. Maybe that's what it was. But I still feel like they could have made her look a little bit more uglier. They could have uglied up her face a little bit more. And she didn't have a significant role. She eventually becomes like the leader of Outworld in the story. Again, I know I keep referencing the source material, and I hate to be annoying about that, but she fell flat for me. She's one of my favorite characters. Katana's my favorite character out of Mortal Kombat, and so I expected to at least have some sort of reference to her and Katana's relationship. She was just like Shang Tsung's lackey at this point, and so that fell flat for me. Cabal and Liu Kang fighting, to me that's a joke, because Liu Kang's the main protagonist in Mortal Kombat. Him and Scorpion are the two that everybody knows. So I felt like they cyclopsed him. I use that as a reference to the X-Men franchise back in like the early 2000s, where they had Cyclops in the films, and they basically made him like a little bitch. Wasn't the leader of the X-Men that we know him to be. And so that's what I feel like they did to Liu Kang. I just feel like they reduced him down. I get that this is supposed to be before the tournament, but I mean, he eventually fatality Cabal, so I guess it's fair. I don't have any issue per se with the actor and the casting. I actually thought everybody who was cast was, they fit the bill for the most part. Also, Raiden. We have to talk about Raiden. I don't know what Raiden's role in this was supposed to be when they originally drew this up and brainstormed the plot, but he was not playing the role he should have played. He is the gatekeeper and the protector of Earthrealm, and Shang Tsung shouldn't have been coming all in and out all willy-nilly, him and Sub-Zero, doing what they were doing, breaking the rules of Mortal Kombat without Raiden stepping in and being like, hey, the hell's going on? This ain't what you're supposed to be doing. He's more powerful than Shang Tsung and so I just didn't really understand why Raiden was like he was reduced down as well. And the actor they got, I don't have anything in particular negative to say about the actor, but I expected the Thunder God Raiden to be a little bit more imposing. I really didn't think that he wasn't really doing it for me. And he wasn't playing his part as the protector of Earthrealm, and he wasn't doing what the hell he was supposed to be doing. They shouldn't have been running all back and forth like that. They were breaking the rules of Mortal Kombat, and he ain't do shit about it. That's the issue I have with that. To wrap it up, I just don't see how you do a Mortal Kombat without Johnny Cage. I saw the reference at the end. I get the reference. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to set the film up for sequels, but I think you're kind of getting a little ambitious by doing that when you don't even know if the film is going to do well. I didn't like how they were just being so presumptuous, like this is gonna get a sequel, and you tune in for the sequel to see Johnny Cage. Like, I just didn't like that. You can't make Mortal Kombat without Johnny Cage. Like, I just felt like that was cheap, and it was a throwaway at the end to try to, get people to tune in and be interested in the sequel. I'm hearing that it's a trilogy. There's 2 more films that's going to come after this. I thought it was kind of some bullshit. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know that I'll ever watch that film again. I would watch it, maybe if they do a second one, maybe to refresh my memory if I, watch the first one, then watch the second one afterwards. I'm not a huge fan of the film, obviously, and that's my review. So leave your comments down below. Tell me what you thought of the film. I know some people, I did think the action was okay. Like, I wasn't like mad about the action. There were parts of the film that were just okay. They weren't spectacular, but for a film to have been in the production and in the works for the past several years, I just expected more, and maybe that was my bad, but I'm hearing from my husband that this is a first-time director, so that may have had something to do with it as well. But I don't know, y'all let me know what y'all think, and I will catch up with you guys, Noah, in the next video. Bye.